Many people doubted the PlayStation Portal, but Sony keeps proving them wrong. With its game-changing updates and strong sales performance, the Portal is shaping up to be more than anyone ever expected. But here's the big question. Where does Sony go next with this underdog handheld? Let's dive into a revealing new interview with a key PlayStation executive and break down what it could mean for the Portal's future. This interview on GameFile is with MURRRAAAAY, and she is the VP of Product Management at Sony Interactive Entertainment. So this interview on GameFile is fantastic, and the link will be left in the description. Go check it out and show it some love. There's also a part 2 coming for this, which I can't wait to check out. But there's some really interesting stuff in this and some forward-looking stuff, so we're going to break it all down right here, right now. And it starts off right away with an interesting fact that the most popular time of day for PlayStation Portal owners to use their portable streaming device is 9 PM at night, a Sony executive tells GameFile. That's an hour later than the peak playing time for PlayStation 5 users. Portal players might be night owls. I don't know if this surprises me. I don't think it does. I'm a night owl, like genuinely, but I guess lots of people are not. But it makes sense with the Portal. You're maybe playing your PS5 for a while at night, chilling out on the sofa, and then, you know, someone else wants to watch something else on the TV, or you just take it up to bed with you to keep playing before you go to bed. I guess it kind of makes sense because you can now do that with the Portal. Let me know when you play your PlayStation Portal most. Do you play it in the morning, you know, traveling to work? Do you play it at work? Respect to you if you do. Do you play it in bed at night, in the bath, on vacation? Let me know in the comments, because this will be really interesting to see. But Sony supposedly has a better theory about all this. This could suggest scenarios like users playing on the console first, then later switching to PlayStation Portal to play in another room, courtesy of PlayStation Portal's characteristics, like the ability to play in another room while the family is using the TV. I guess that's just what we said there. Wakai and I were corresponding just after the first birthday of the Portal, a device that initially confused many players but appears to have been a 2024 success. Yes, the Portal is a huge success story of 2024, and they actually give us some numbers here which we can break down to get a bit more detail into how many of these devices Sony has actually sold. But last month, Wakai announced a major update to the Portal that will allow users to stream some PlayStation 5 games from the cloud through a new streaming beta option. No connection to a PS5 console required. So this is the 4.0 update which dropped. We are now at 4.01. I'll be covering off 4.02 when it drops here on the channel as well. So if you like all things PlayStation and all things Portal, make sure you subscribe. But that was a game-changing update because it untethered us from our PlayStations. That can be good for two groups of people. One, you already have a PlayStation, but you don't want to deal with the remote play aspect. I must admit, I've been impressed with the cloud gaming beta. I actually think it runs better and it connects to your games way quicker than going via remote play. So it's a nice to have. It's really good, and you can play games which, you know, you don't need to download them to your PlayStation 5 before you play them via remote play. So it's a lot quicker that way. You just dive into the game and away you go. And then two, for people who don't own a PlayStation 5, if PlayStation Plus Premium is available in your region, you can now get a PlayStation Plus Premium subscription, a PlayStation Portal, and away you go. You can play all the amazing PlayStation exclusives which are on the PlayStation Cloud streaming beta library, catalog, whatever Sony are calling it these days. So that's a big win as well, I think, for a lot of people. The more the merrier, right? Now, what's next? Cloud streaming was part of the plan for a while. Wakai told me the cloud game streaming option has always been in our roadmap since the early development stage of PlayStation Portal Remote Player. That is awesome to see. There is a roadmap. Is the roadmap done now? Or does it finish once the cloud streaming comes out of beta and that's it? We'll discuss further in this article. After launch, we heard from many of our users that they want cloud game streaming support, and of course, being gamers ourselves, we felt the same way. Pretty cool they are listening to feedback from gamers like you and me, getting our voices out there. So that's why it's important. Always tell me what you think of the Portal and of these features in my video comment section. You never know who's watching. Someone from Sony could be seeing these. A video could do really well where we're discussing things we want, things we don't want, and it could actually influence their future roadmaps for this device, which is really cool to see. So here we go, we're on to some sales figures here now, which is interesting. We'll break this down. So the $200 portal appears to have a solid first year. While Sony doesn't release unit sales figures for the portal, the unit has shown market strength in the US for starters. So this is US only actually, I think. Is that right? Let's see. The streaming device has consistently ranked in the top selling gaming accessory for the US, ranked by dollars, as tracked by industry firm Circana in its report for September 2024. Circana noted that 3% of PlayStation 5 owners have purchased a PlayStation Portal to date, suggesting a healthy 6-figure install base. 6-figure? I thought it would have been higher than that. Let's do some MURRRAAAY maths and see what we get here. How many PS5s sold? As of November 2024, Sony has sold 65.5 million. What? Right, okay, that's pretty good. So 3% of 65.5 million. Whoa, nearly 2 million? 1.965, so 1,965,000 PlayStation portals. Okay, that's got to be worldwide numbers. Let's see how many PlayStation 5s have been sold in the US. Maybe we can find that out. Right, as of May 2024, okay, that's a while ago, PS5 has sold 20.54 million in the United States. Okay. This is maybe where he's getting the figure from, the 6 figures. Okay, so 616,000 PlayStation portals have supposedly been sold in the US, but based on our maths, if you extrapolate that worldwide, that's 2 million PlayStation portals. Pretty freaking good for a handheld which sucks and is rubbish and no one wants to buy, right? The article goes on to explain that the portal is not a dedicated handheld, which we all know here on the channel, but Sony's most recent machine of that type was the Vita, which was discontinued in 2019. The Vita, so far ahead of its time, and one or two wrong moves by Sony. Unfortunately, it did not sell as well. But let me know if you still play your Vita in the comments. I know I still play mine and I love it, and it does not feel out of date or out of place in 2024, 2025. It is a freaking awesome handheld. In late November, Bloomberg reported that Sony is exploring development of a portable PlayStation 5 that could be years away from release. We covered this in a previous video. If you've seen that, you'll know what we're talking about. If it's made at all, that is true. I think this may align with the PlayStation 6 more than dropping during the PlayStation 5 or PS5 Pro life cycle. A Sony rep declined to comment to the outlet at the time. But back in February, Wakai told GameFile that the Portal was never planned to be a dedicated Vita-style handheld. The initial discussions of this product started out from the question of how to expand the PlayStation 5 console game experience, not launch a separate handheld device, she said. That makes sense and it's cool. I guess with the functionality and the capability so far of the Portal, getting the cloud game streaming does kind of make it standalone, even though you are still dependent on an internet connection, which is unfortunate. But I think the benefit of this getting out there, whether you love or hate the Portal, is that it's testing the waters and showing Sony there is an appetite for handheld gaming type devices out there. And I think the success of the Portal has directly impacted Sony now looking at and wanting to produce a standalone proper handheld PSP 2 or Vita 2, whatever you want to call it. And that's really exciting. Think about how successful stuff like the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally has been. You've got the Switch, how successful it's been. Xbox are well going to move into this space with a handheld. It wouldn't surprise me if they tether their handheld to Game Pass Ultimate, that you can only play Game Pass games on it, or maybe even games you buy as well, but it'll be fully digital. Unfortunately, I would still like physical games on a cartridge or a disc or something. Call me old-fashioned, but I like that. Let me know if you prefer that or do you not care. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a dinosaur with these things, but that's what I would like to see. So there's lots going on in this space, and Sony will not want to miss out. Guaranteed. Oh, here we go. Next part. As for Sony's rivals, Microsoft gaming chief Phil Spencer recently told Bloomberg that his teams are exploring development of a handheld Xbox. Phil Spencer has said in about 1 billion interviews that he wants one of these, and he supposedly constantly is playing on his ROG Ally when he's traveling about to conferences and meetings all over the world and stuff like that. So I'd bet my bottom dollar that they are making one of these. Absolutely. But it's likely years away. I think they need it sooner than Sony does. Xbox's hardware is just sinking. There's no reason really to buy an Xbox these days, unfortunately, because they're just giving all their exclusives away to every other platform. So there's not a real, reason to own it. You can play Xbox games on a Fire Stick. Apparently everything's an Xbox now, which I think is the worst marketing PR campaign ever. You just see that kind of stuff, and then you see what Sony's done for their 30th anniversary. All the throwback images of people opening their PlayStation 1s, their PlayStation 2s, 3s at Christmases and stuff. This nostalgia, the feeling, just saying it always stays the same. Sony gets it. Microsoft unfortunately doesn't, and I say unfortunately because I love Xbox too. I want them to be a strong competitor to PlayStation, so we as the consumer get the best. We'll get the best games, the best value, the best hardware. Whereas if there's no competition, companies get lazy and expensive at our expense. So that's my thoughts on that one. Mind you, CES is coming up soon, so hopefully we'll maybe see something from one of these handhelds there. I don't know. If we do, we'll cover that on the channel if there's any PlayStation related stuff. But next we've got Nintendo's second consecutive hybrid portable home console will be announced by March 31st. This so-called Switch 2 is expected for release by the end of 2025. Yes, and it's supposedly going to be announced by March 2025 or the end of March. So that's when their financial year ends. They have confirmed that they will announce it before then. So that's going to be really interesting to see. Supposedly it's going to have power similar to a PS4 or a PS4 Pro. I'm really interested to get this. I love myself some Nintendo, so I'll definitely be getting that. But anyways, the interview goes on. Wakai said expansion of the Portal's capabilities will be gradual. So this is where we're talking about some future stuff for the Portal they're teasing. PlayStation Portal was a new type of product for us, so we wanted to be extra careful to ensure our users get the best possible user experience, she said, referring specifically to the addition of the PlayStation 5 game streaming beta. We want to continue that approach with the PlayStation Portal and make incremental steps based on community reception on the beta. So keep giving us your feedback, people. Keep saying stuff on social media under all these videos. Let the world know what you think about PlayStation Portal, their cloud streaming beta, and what's working for you, what's not working, because I keep hearing comments from yous that certain games aren't working. One that keeps coming up is Grand Theft Auto 5. Some people can't get into the game at all on the cloud streaming beta. Some people can only play the campaign, and some people can only play GTA Online. I mean, why is that? I have no idea what is going on. I've also heard various other games that people just, it doesn't work for them. So who knows what's going on there? Obviously we're still in beta, but it is kind of random. You think if it just wouldn't work for everyone, or it would work for everyone? GTA works perfectly for me, so I don't know. I don't know if there's something to do with actually owning the game as well. I know it's in the PlayStation Plus cloud gaming premium catalog, but I also own GTA 5 digitally. I have a digital copy of it. So I don't know if that adds any layer of complexity as to why it works for me. So let me know in the comments if it works for you, or if it doesn't. Do you also own GTA 5 digitally? Maybe that makes a difference. It shouldn't, but maybe it does. The article goes on. As for the typical PlayStation Portal player, 1 year in, Wakai shared one other thing. Players who own a PlayStation Portal tend to spend more time playing games than those who don't. Of course, it's likely that users who purchase PlayStation Portal were naturally more engaged in the first place. However, our data shows that PlayStation Portal owners tend to spend more time playing games compared to non-owners. This doesn't surprise me because people are buying this to be an extension of their PlayStation 5 so they can play games more. So this doesn't surprise me at all. But the big interesting part here is about the future capabilities, which will be gradual. Now, what would we like to see and what do we think is coming next? I did cover off some things which I think are coming next in a previous video. I'll briefly touch on them here and then I'll add to them. One, we would all love to be able to watch some movies and stuff and TV shows on our portal. It's a beautiful screen, but there's a whole bunch of complexity around licensing agreements there for the content, which is why I think we will get access to Sony Pictures Core. That is, I think that will be added because then there should be no worries about licensing agreements or, you know, licensing content to be streamed because it's Sony, they own it all. So that makes perfect sense. Number two will be allowing us to play our owned games, which we own digitally, from the cloud via PlayStation Plus Premium. So I think you'll then be able to buy digital games on your PlayStation 5, and then you'll be able to stream them from the cloud to your portal without having to use remote play. I think that's a big one, which they'll be working on once the cloud streaming beta, you know, leaves its beta phase. Now, if Sony want to take the portal to the next level, and that even means people who don't own the PlayStation 5 can take advantage of this, that would be buying digital games directly on the portal. I don't know how they're going to do this because the UI is so slim on the portal. Maybe they will use your phone again so you can buy the games via the mobile app on your phone and then they show up on your library or your catalogue on your portal. Let me know if you guys and gals would like to see that. I think that would be pretty cool. So that's another way to allow you access to even more games, and then you can play the latest and greatest games. So think about if they launched that, right? And this is what I think would make the PlayStation Portal sell like just hotcakes. Grand Theft Auto 6 drops. Let's get real, it's going to be the biggest game ever. It is going to be the biggest like entertainment launch ever. It's going to destroy any like music, sport, movie launches, you name it. This is going to be the biggest thing ever. The hype is insane, right? So if this launched and you could buy a PlayStation Portal for $200, then buy the game digitally direct on your PlayStation Portal, get the PlayStation 5 version or the PS5 Pro version or whatever it is, and it streams from the cloud straight to your portal. Imagine they even like co-packaged it, like had GTA 6 on the box or something, or you could buy a bundle with, you know, a digital code for it. Game over. Sony is going to hit an absolute home run and then some. That would be massive. Let me know what you think about that in the comments, and also let me know what future updates you would like to see for the portal. One other one I think that is probably going to come pretty soon, which is some UI enhancements, because the UI on the cloud streaming beta is pretty basic just now. It is a huge list of 200 plus games, which you just scroll down them, and it's quite frustrating. I don't know how many times I've scrolled down this list and I've went past the game I'm looking for, and then I scroll back up and then I scroll back down and I get it eventually. So a way to actually search, you know, a search bar or even filter options, so we could filter by, you know, like game, you know, type, genre, release date, whatever. That would be really, really nice. So I think that would be one that would be coming really, really soon, as it's dead simple to do, you know. And if you need more help finding really good games to play on your PlayStation Portal, check out these 10 super underrated gems you've probably missed in this next video on screen now.